man, a lot of people have a really, really tough problem with not being able to make enough time to get in their training. That's kind of the number one thing that we hear, the number one excuse. These excuses that we utilize, a lot of times these are made up things that actually aren't true. An excuse is only true to the people that are actually making these things up. And when you start to break it down, there's usually not a lot of actual truth to it. When you actually start to think about it, it's kind of like a small lie that you're telling yourself because you want to excuse yourself from something, from doing the thing that you want to do. So here is the one way, here's the number one way that you can get over these excuses. At least in my opinion, and at least from what I've seen. Let's say this Tuesday coming up, you have a dental appointment. It's at 12 o'clock. You're probably going to be there, right? At work, you know your schedule at work. You're supposed to be there at 9 o'clock all the time. 9 o'clock rolls around and you're there. 5 p.m. rolls around and you leave, right? Following me? Still on page 43 here? The number one thing that you can do for yourself to get on a schedule with your training is to incorporate it and put it into your schedule. Put it into your calendar on your iPhone. Or if you're a mutant and a weird person and you have one of those other types of phone, what they call it, Android, if you have one of those monsters, put it on there and put in a time. You want to make time for a workout? Schedule it. Literally, you're making time for it when you put it on the calendar. When you put something on a calendar, or I used to not schedule a lot of things because I didn't know what this day was looking like, what that day was looking like, and it was always like very hectic. But I never missed my training because I always knew 2 days before, 3 days before, I always knew when I wanted to train. But it can get really chaotic if you don't know when you're going to work out. It can be really chaotic. So just try to work out a similar time every day. Write it down, put it in your notes. And here is something I adopted more recently. So let's say that you have the excuse and you just don't feel like training because training's not vibing with you at the moment. You are unmotivated. You kind of sort of want to do it, but you're like, I don't want to get that sore. Like, man, I remember like what it's like to restart again and how bad that is and all that kind of stuff. Give yourself just one thing to do at the gym. Give yourself just one thing. So, okay, here we go. Ready? Let's say you love bench pressing. I love bench pressing, right? If you love bench pressing, then go bench press. So when you're down, you're unmotivated, you don't feel like going to the gym, you don't have time for it, schedule it, write it down, put it in your schedule, put it in your day planner, put it wherever you need to put it to make sure it happens. Make an alarm go off on your phone. Get your butt to the gym and pick that one thing that you're excited about doing and make sure you do that. Now, I got another escape route for you on these excuses, right? Because I realize that some of you don't even like anything in the gym. If you don't like anything in the gym, then get outside and go for a walk. Maybe you're like, man, walking's kind of lame. Get on a bike, go for a hike, go running. Just, you gotta pick something, right? Pick some form of exercise and schedule it. Make sure that you're putting it in your calendar. That's gonna be a key factor. But what I've learned, this is a real cheat code to just do one thing. And you can steal this cheat code for everything else too. You just can't take credit for it because it came from me, right? This cheat code works really, really well with everything. So if I wanted to just think about, I'm gonna go inside Phil's coffee and oh man, I don't have time to journal. Like at work, I need to get to SuperTraining at 10 o'clock and it's 9:30 now and all these excuses. All right, Mark, you know what? Dude, go in there and just write down one thing in your journal. Just listen to one podcast and just write down one thing in your journal. That is not hard to do, and that is really lame to miss out on. You're gonna be more proud of yourself when you do that, and when you only have one thing to focus on, it ain't that hard to do. You wanna make sure that you're not missing workouts. You wanna make sure that you're not feeling, that you're not starting to feel unmotivated. Don't even let motivation become a factor. Become a little bit of a robot. Schedule it in there, and when it's scheduled, make sure you go do it. You want to make yourself even more accountable? Try this on for size and see how it fits. Text a friend, text an old buddy, text a brother, text a cousin, text a whoever you can pull into the gym with you. Text an old training partner. Hey man, see you at Gold's tomorrow at 4 o'clock. See you at 24 Hour tomorrow at 5 a.m. Right? Now you're screwed. Now you're on the hook, man. You got to go and meet them. You know that they're going to be there at the same time as you. You know that they're going to be there waiting, right? These are all methods. These are all things that you can incorporate, and you can have what I like to call some escape routes away from these excuses. We're all going to use excuses. Also, the last thing I'll finish with here is make sure that you're not make sure you're not trying to think of your training as being so hard. I think that's another big mistake a lot of people make. They're making their training out to be such a difficult thing. Don't think about it being such an uphill battle. Every once in a while, you got to throw yourself an underhand pitch, and you want to hit that son of a bitch out of the park, right? How would you pitch a ball to a 5-year-old kid? You're going to throw him a slider with everything you got? You're going to throw him a curveball? You're going to throw the ball as hard as you can? No, you're going to let him see the ball. Let him see the ball. And you're going to chuck it to him nice and slow. Whoop, lob it up there, right? So you can get a good crack at it, right? That's what we're trying to do. Give yourself an underhand pitch. Give yourself something simple. Okay, I don't really want to go to the gym. And I know Mark Bell trains at like 4 a.m. Don't write down 4 a.m. How about I'm going to train at 8 a.m. Or maybe you can't work out in the morning because you have a normal kind of 9 to 5 or 8 to 5 or whatever your day looks like. Well, schedule it for the weekend. Work out on the weekend and say, I'm going to get my sleep, get my rest, but at 8:30, I'm going to be at the gym and I'm going to get my training session in. Boom, you wrote it down. If you only train on the weekends, that's at least 2 workouts during the week. Make sure that you're not doing this one. Make sure you're not like, I'm just going to wait until I have 4 or 5 days a week to go to the gym. Because that time ain't ever going to happen. You can't wait. The time is now, and you got to get started. Start to schedule your workouts. Pick one thing to do. Simplify it. Don't make it seem like this huge mountain to climb. All it is a couple steps in the right direction. You don't have to do 20 exercises. You can get away with doing about 1 or 2 exercises with every single training session and still look like $1 million. Strength is never weakness. Weakness is never strength. Catch you all later.